Hi, Lake Grove family. Pastor Greg here with a Monday video devo from the Reservoir. I've been away on renewal leave for several weeks, and it's good to be back with you. We all took a little break from the Reservoir last week, but this week we are back and we are starting month 9. We're moving into the 4th of 6 traditions of Christian discipleship practices that have emerged down through the centuries as being dependable, not to say essential, for growing in Christ. Richard Foster calls these traditions streams in his book, Streams of Living Water, and he says we see them most clearly in the life of Jesus himself. So, for the next few weeks, we will be exploring and engaging the compassionate life this week under the rubric of seeing and acting. And the focus for today is the invisibility of the poor. We're on page 197, and I trust that you have worked through that page already, where it says, for the next 2 months, our devotionals will focus on the life of compassion and social justice. Today's subtitle, The Invisibility of the Poor, resonates with me because I think the poor are invisible for many of us. Most of us live in communities and we drive roads where poor people are relatively out of sight. The ones we do see may be in tents off the highway or holding signs on the highway where it's hard to stop and help. And even if you could, you might not know how to help. There are poor people living within our communities, but their poverty is not that obvious, and they may in fact hide it, being embarrassed to let their need show. But even when we know that poverty is around us, near us, we might turn a blind eye to it because, again, we're ambivalent about how to help. But the poor are not invisible in the Bible. They are mentioned hundreds of times there. In the Old Testament, the law, the prophets, and the wisdom literature, it's a virtue to show compassion to the poor. And in the New Testament, Jesus says the poor will always be with you, and he tells us to be generous to them. So reading the Bible reminds us of the poor and encourages us not to let them remain invisible. We are to look around for them. Why? Because it offers us an opportunity to learn compassion, to extend God's love to people in need. And in the process, we grow, we learn because of the interaction. Lake Grove Church has been a congregation willing to seek out the poor, both locally by partnering with inner city ministries and globally by partnering with Agros in Central America and World Vision in other countries abroad. The poor are not invisible to us. If you support the ministries of this church, you are ministering to the poor. You are indirectly already exercising compassion and participating in justice through your church. But I think this particular spiritual stream addresses us more as individuals here in the Reservoir rather than as a congregation. We're encouraged to see opportunities for compassion and justice and then to act accordingly, seeing and acting. And we're not just talking about random acts of kindness, which are fine, but we're talking about targeted acts of kindness as God's Spirit guides us and grows compassion in our hearts to see the people in need and to do something about it. The last 2 Sundays in worship here, we have heard messages from the Epistle of James, and James famously said, faith without works is dead. I think seeing and acting, our focus this week, are also inextricably intertwined, just like faith and works. Allowing the poor to be invisible is not acceptable for followers of Jesus, but seeing them and doing nothing is even worse. So let us be people who, when we see the poor and needy, we also find an action to make a difference. Let's let our light shine. That's all I got today. It's nice to be back with you all. God bless you.